Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are discussing Death Proof, directed by Quentin Tarantino and starring Kurt Russell, Tracy Thoms, Zoe Bell, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Rosario Dawson, Rose McGowan, and many, many more. A group of seductive girls head out for a drink, only to catch the attention of a stuntman called Mike, who seems to take quite the interest in the group and starts following them with sinister intentions. Now I should mention that until recently this was the only Tarantino film that I hadn't seen, and the reason being that when it came up in conversation, people would most often say, don't worry about it, you're not missing anything there. So there really wasn't any urgency to hunt this one down and check it out. In fact, my Lord and Saviour, Mark Commode, all hail the king, he absolutely trashed the movie in his review, so yeah, you can imagine my expectations were quite low for Death Proof. But having just seen the man himself, Quentin Tarantino, at the London Palladium, oh, bear with me, let me just pick that name up, I thought it was only right to finally check it out, and I was pleasantly surprised. Everyone in the cast does a great job. Kurt Russell was perfectly cast as stuntman Mike. He's the right amount of charm and edge that it's easily believable as both a stuntman and a psychotic ladies' man. The film is just all round entertaining as hell. The stunts are super impressive. Huge shout out to Zoe Bell. What a rock star she is in this movie. I thought this was girl power done right. I really did cheer these girls on. I wanted them to succeed. They're cool and they're fun and they have a convincing rapport with each other. You enjoy their harsh but lovable back and forths. Grindhouse effects are all done very well, and the thin plot and excessive gore really is a good fit for the genre that they are trying to show so much love to. And it might be thin on plot, it might just be here to give you a good time, but believe it or not, there are some really clever undercurrent themes in the movie Death Proof. They really are trying to hammer down the idea of the male gaze, and there's certain shots and references that are really clever, exceptionally subtle in its depiction. I thought it was very cleverly put together. And of course, it's Tarantino. I don't know about you guys, but I love pretty much every soundtrack that he's put together, and it still applies here to Death Proof as well. But I do have some issues with the movie. I'm going to tiptoe carefully on this one, just in case some of you haven't seen it and you're now kind of intrigued. I don't like the way things wrap up for Mary Elizabeth Winstead. It just seemed a little bit weird to me. It even felt a bit sinister, and there's, you know, I don't really know what happened there. I don't like what it left my imagination with, I guess is the best way I can put it. There is a very, very small scene with two policemen having a conversation, and if you're asking me, just get rid of it. If you look back on the film in the long run, it really added absolutely nothing. Tarantino is known for his dialogue, and I would say Death Proof probably is my least favourite Tarantino dialogue. But don't get me wrong, there's definitely some really solid moments and even some good jokes and nice quips in there, but it's just not quite as catchy and memorable as something like Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs. I did find the dialogue, especially for the women, could get a little bit repetitive, especially with the very first characters that you meet in the movie. I didn't really fully understand their dynamic or how their friendship worked, but as the movie went on, I did find that worked better with the newer characters that they introduce. And as much as I did praise the editing earlier in the film and its homage to Grindhouse, there were a few moments with the colour grading that I did find it distracting, and it did pull me out of the movie just for a split second because it was hard to not notice it happening. So overall, I'm going to give Death Proof an 8 out of 10. This was a real pleasant surprise. It's a fun, entertaining 2-hour popcorn flick that will leave you with a big grin on your face after some heavy violence and solid action. But in regard to Tarantino's filmography, yeah, I can understand why some people might put this slightly lower down on the ranking, but I don't think it's the worst by any means. Hateful Eight might be my least favourite. If someone ever tells you you're not missing out on Death Proof, I personally beg to differ. Easygoing, fun ride that delivers on what it sets out to do is what you're missing out on. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section. Have you seen Death Proof? What do you think about it? What do you think it lines up in Tarantino's filmography? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, if you haven't had enough of this crazy ginger, you can always click on these suggested videos right here and get yourself lost in an IMO wormhole. But if not, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.